at her oldest sister. "'Cause we have the Hadstrom magic jumper cables." Laura puffed out a sigh and held her open hand toward Nikki. Nikki grasped it, then grabbed Emily's fingers with her other hand until the sister witches formed a chain on their front porch. "Don't try to cast anything until we know what's going on, okay? The last thing we need is for 3 spells to backfire at the same time because we couldn't decide on where to funnel our focus." "Got it." Emily nodded. "Yep. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Laura twisted the doorknob on their front door, which was fortunately still unlocked, and shoved open the door. The flashing, multicolored lights continued inside, now punctuated by high-pitched shrieking every few seconds after a particularly bright flash. The sisters stepped inside, all connected by their hands, and Emily lashed her foot out behind her to slam the door shut. The source of all the surprised yelling and the out-of-control spell casting in their living room didn't seem to notice the Hadstrom sisters had come in. Quickly, Laura, Nikki, and Emily rushed across the foyer and into the living room on their left. They stopped right inside the entryway and stared with wide eyes at what none of them had expected to see. "Wow, look at that." Emily dropped Nikki's hand and scratched her head. "A pea brain with broken magic." Nikki glanced back over her shoulder and hissed, "That's Dave." "I know." And there he was, the owner of Blue Silk Records, Chuck's best friend, and the last human host the Hadstrom sisters had saved from the Gorafrex's possession. Dave's hands were outstretched in front of him, sparks of every color bursting from his fingertips as he tried in vain to aim them away from anything that might be severely damaged from his lack of magical control. Which was probably everything. A sharp bark and a whine came from the ceiling. The Hadstrom sisters looked up, and all 3 of their jaws dropped when they saw their immortal bulldog Speed doggy-paddling through the air right below the ceiling, suspended by bubbles of Dave's unhinged magic that apparently had no intention of bringing the family pet back down where he belonged. Nathan had gotten up on the couch and now jumped as high as he could, swiping at Speed's back paws and trying to get hold of the poor animal. Wow. Nikki ran her hand through her dark hair. "Em and I leave for a few hours to go rescue Laura from the Gorafrex, and this is our big welcome home, huh?" Dave let out a yelp of surprise and whirled toward the sisters. A barrage of brilliantly flashing silver bubbles lighting up the living room like a few dozen disco balls hurtled from the man's outstretched hands. All 3 Hadstrom sisters ducked, and the magical bubbles soared over their heads to wreak havoc somewhere else in their house. Nathan stopped jumping on the couch. "You're back." "Of course we're back." Emily gestured to Laura. "And we got her." "Okay, try this." Chuck came barreling into the living room from the mudroom in the back, brandishing the sisters' bright yellow broom. He skidded to a stop when he saw the witches standing right off the foyer and grinned. "You did it!" "And you guys have obviously been busy." Laura glanced up at Speed, who'd now given up on trying to swim through air, and had taken up his usual lazy slump on his belly, on top of a bunch of pea brain bubbles this time. Nathan laughed and bent to climb off the couch. Whoa, get the dog down first." "Right." The physics professor nodded at Chuck, who seemed to have forgotten about the broom in his hand. Chuck blinked, tossed the broom to Nathan, and leapt aside when Dave's stream of nonstop magic sent what now looked like fish bowls full of miniature safari animals flying toward the back of the living room. "Oh, come on!" Nathan swiped at Speed with the broom, but now the bubbles had taken the dog far enough away that even the lanky professor couldn't reach him with the broom's extra 5 feet. "Guys, I have no idea what's going on," Dave muttered. "I thought I'd gotten the hang of this weird magic thing, but now it's—" He lurched forward and looked like he was about to vomit. What came out of his mouth instead was a string of bright yellow bubbles.